Thank you very much. It really is an honor for me to speak to you tonight at this rally, and it's nice to see that these rallies are continuing to go on, and every year we seem to expand, and I'm very happy that that's the case. There's a story I like to tell about my daughter when she was in junior high. We were at a local sports store, and we were buying some knee pads for basketball. The sales guy brought out two different kinds. I can't remember what the other brand was. I think it was a Canadian brand, but one was Nike. Of course, the Nike ones were more expensive, so he was trying to talk her into buying them. My daughter stopped, looked at him right away, and said, "We don't buy things made by child labor or sweatshops in our family." The funny thing is, I can't even really remember having that conversation with her, or about what the accusations Nike was facing, and how we as consumers had power. But somehow she'd absorbed it like osmosis. She'd literally grown up around the labor movement. I'd been elected union leader for as long as she could remember. She'd heard us talk about overseas sweatshops, child labor, and all kinds of other labor issues. And as she grew from a little girl to a teenager to the young woman she is today, I am very proud of my girls that they have grown up around a labor family. I like this story because it speaks to actually walking the walk. Because it's not just about what we tell our kids that's important, but it's about what they see us do. Brands are never more important than when you're a teenager, but for Colleen, something else came into play. She knew what her family was about, she knew who she was, and she didn't support that kind of labor. I can't help thinking of this incident when I watched the footage of the young women participating in the Occupy movement. These young women know the kind of world they want, and they're not afraid to speak out, and it's actually inspiring. After all my years in the labor movement, one of the things I've learned is that you can't be everything to everybody. You can't expect to single-handedly change the world. You have to accept that there are limits to everything, including yourself. But when I think of my own girls and when I saw those young women in the Occupy movement, I also remember what it means to be idealistic. And even as we grow older and more experienced, we need to nurture and encourage these ideas because they create the kind of energy like nothing else. The kind of energy that pulls us all together, like-minded people, that doesn't waste time on past failures, but aims straight for the future. Many of our young women know exactly what they want today. They want a good balance between their family life, their work life. They want governments who will respect them, the specific needs of women in our workforce, and they want communities that enrich the lives of all who live there. They want it all and for everyone, and so they should. When I was elected MGU Vice President, as I said this morning, at times I was the only woman in the executive room. So we've come a long way since those days, but there's still so much to do. The women of my generation who broke some ground, and maybe we got a little bit bruised along the way, sometimes we as older women need to revisit the idealism of our youth and to help stoke those fires burning away in young women. Because if you know who you are and you're not afraid to fight for it, you're already halfway there. So as a small town girl from Western Manitoba, who ended up president of Manitoba's largest union, I say, let us all stand together on a night like today. Let's walk the walk and believe anything is possible. Thank you.